What's up, guys? Happy Sunday. Let's do a little Twitter scroll and see what's in the news feed today. Let's start with Misfit Patriot. We're just going to move on past him because he's a loser. Um, we'll circle back to Misfit at some point. I love to comment on his. I love to comment on his threads. So let's see what we got next. Neil Stone, the fake doctor. I want to see RFK Jr.'s diary next. It's going to be ugly. It can't possibly be as ugly as Fauci's. Neil Stone is a known vaccine propagandist. He spent the entirety of the COVID era criticizing anyone who was against the official narrative or vaccines in general. Let's see. Besides the millions who died, the unvaccinated will win in the end. Guys, let me tell you something. I did not take the COVID vaccine. I would never take the COVID vaccine. While it did cost me certain things financially and professionally, I chose not to do so because people like Neil are peddling this garbage. Ultimately, everyone should have the choice of what they decide to put in their body. Hey, I'm still alive. I'm still here. Had COVID one time. It wasn't that bad. Then my blood donation showed that I had the antibodies. Why would I need a vaccine? Nonetheless, Neil Stone spends all the hours of his time on Twitter or X, basically spewing his propaganda. Oh, here's a good one. BB Yahowitz, he's been quite vocal quite a bit. So the FBI is going to punish U.S. citizens for criticizing Israel online. His response, they should. It's getting out of hand. It's funny to me how a lot of these people over in Israel or who support Israel are against the very fabric that makes America America. Freedom of speech, freedom of press. Let's see, Parody Jeff. Hey, Grok. Israeli cyber official Tom Alexandrovich got caught in Vegas child sexting. Is he rotting in a U.S. prison now or living free in Israel? We all know the answer to that. We saw that story. The U.S. government shipped him back to Israel where he did not stand trial. I don't know much about Tom other than that story. We should probably look in to see what he's doing lately. But while we're on this tab, let's see what Grok's response is. No, no, no. All right, Grok. He posted $10,000 bail after the August 2025 Henderson, Nevada sting arrest and flew back to Israel. He remains free there on leave from the National Cyber Directorate. The felony luring charge is still pending. He pleaded not guilty via Zoom, and no trial outcome or extradition has occurred. So we will continue to follow that story. Now back to the feed. Michelle Lee, if you don't know Michelle Lee, you should go give her a follow. She's been on fire lately, commenting on many, many things in the X space. Definitely give Michelle a follow. Charlie Kirk destroying everything. His fake ass wife be sane. Okay, she was just pointing down to that. Our lovely friend Mark R. Levin, frauds, bigots, and hypocrites. Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Pakistan, Turkey, among other Islamic countries, have a great deal of influence in our foreign policy. Apparently, blah, 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 blah. We're not going to keep talking about what Mark says. Interesting thing, Israel's next target is going to be Turkey. Turkey happens to be a member of the United Nations, the UN. So how is Trump and the U.S. and American government going to play that? I mean, the charter says that if you attack one, you attack all in the UN. So I don't know where we're going to go with Turkey. Right now, they're still busy with Iran, Gaza, West Bank, Lebanon, but Turkey's probably in their sights. How many Americans died because of Anthony Fauci's lies? We know it's a ton. Whether you had a direct death or a direct health issue at the time of your vaccination, or whether or not you're dealing with long-term issues after, such as long COVID, long vax, plenty of things that have contributed to all-cause mortality. We know those things are not good for you. Hopefully, if you felt like you were forced or if you chose to take it, hopefully you're doing all right health wise. But let's see. What happened to this dork? Says Buzz Patterson. Man, people love to attack Tucker. Tucker Carlson. Oh, our favorite little guy wearing his funny little hat, Ben Shapiro. You're lucky we Muslims in here are nice because if we weren't, our co religionists outside would burn you to death. Isn't an amazing argument. What does Ben know about arguments lately? All he does is spew propaganda. All he does is just run his mouth on X, saying a bunch of stuff that if he was standing right next to any person that he's talking about, or if he was standing right next to me, those words would not be, Ben, I'm telling you, those words would not be coming out of your mouth. We know you hide behind the screen, you hide behind your X profile, you hide behind your YouTube show, you hide on a stage when there's security around. But we know you wouldn't be talking like that in real life. Let's see. Data Republican. While Data Republican does have some good data and some good things that I think that she got popular back because of Elon, right? During the Doge era. So, Data Republican, she's clearly on a rampage against Candace and anyone who defies the official narrative around Tyler Robinson and the Charlie Kirk death. Bucky Carlson. Remember, Graham Allen is not just ridiculously vain meat stick pillow biter. He's also a former DOW, Department of War, contractor. I think now he's just a consultant. Or maybe he's not. Maybe he lost that as well. And according to their own call logs, apparently solidified his contract with Turning Point 11 minutes after Charlie's precisely orchestrated public death. Bravo, Candace. And of course, here, I'm not sure, Candace posted some pictures of him looking suspect. I mean, he's supposedly married and has a family and is straight, looking totally suspect. I really wish this picture here, there we go. I can't say what I want to say, but you all know what I'm thinking, right? All right. That's another guy I'm going to dive into. Graham really annoys me. And they wonder why they are hated, trans activists, blah, 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 blah. I don't know what Kevin posts some weird stuff, but this Cinema Shogun guy, he's literally like, it's funny how they all talk about how Candace is making all this money, taking advantage of Charlie Kirk's death. There are so many of these yahoos out there like Cinema Shogun, an overweight diabetic living in his grandma's basement, who he would not have anything to talk about of value if it wasn't for Candace. Go back and look at his previous stuff. He was like a movie reviewer, and he jumped on the Candace hate bandwagon. So it's funny to me how they call out this same stuff that they do. It's all self-projection. Yeah, I don't like you, Cinema. Just so you know, I don't like you. And guess what? You're another one. Just like Ben Shapiro, just like all these people, you can only get away with talking the way you do from behind the safety of that screen. Because we know you don't act like that in real life. We know you don't. You're just not built like that. At Grok, what kind of tree is this? We're not going to do that because that's kind of, I don't like to generalize. I have a problem with the government of Israel, the politicians of Israel. I have a problem with some of the things the IDF does. I have a problem with some of the things the Mossad does, as well as the U.S. government, as well as any government I want to criticize. But I don't tend to participate in generalizing any sort of stuff towards any group of people, because I don't like that people try to claim that if you have any criticism of Israel or their politicians or the IDF from Mossad, that you're automatically anti-Semitic, you're racist, you hate all Jewish people. No, 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 no. It's not true. You don't get to dictate my context, and you don't get to dictate my intent, and you don't get to label me and put me in a box and decide who I am or what I am. Kay Sue. Kay Sue's another one. She randomly showed up in my feed one day. I gave her a follow. She's been super on fire lately. Everyone make sure you give Kay Sue a follow at KSue00. I'm so sorry that I can see through Erica Kirk's performative bullshit. Truly super sorry. You know, I'm going to agree with Kay on that. One of the first things that I'm not going to say who, but the person who I first saw Erica on screen with, and she was sitting in Charlie's chair giving her crying performance, something was off from the very first day one. So I think most people see right through it, unless they're being paid not to see right through it, or in case they're just incredibly, I don't know, insane or silly. David Wolf. If this Fauci situation teaches us one thing, is that those who do their own research and think for themselves aren't rebellious, they're smart. I'll agree. The COVID era definitely had a lot of propaganda out there basically saying, trust the science, trust the government, trust your leaders like Trump and Fauci and Biden. And, you know, they're basically telling you, don't read, don't watch, don't debate. We're going to censor it all. Mr. Relatable, I have respect for the individuals in the pornography industry, sex sells babe. Evidently, he claims that was a quote by Erica Franzve. I always suck at saying her last name. I just call her Erica Kirk. Like, I can bash her in so many ways, but I don't have to call her by her maiden name to like dig in. Oh, here it is. Let's see if we can hear it.
Degrading women or anything. I have respect for the individuals that are in the pornography industry, not because they're degrading women or anything like that, but because that's their field and they are professionals. So I give them credit for being able to have a job and make money and stimulate the economy that way. We live in a free country, so if you want to watch it, turn on your pay-per-view. I have respect for the...
In general, I don't care about people in the pornography industry or what they do, or if you have an OnlyFans, but I'm also not going around as a CEO of TPUSA and trying to project this uber Christian, uber right wing conservative values. If anything, though, I just think it's another thing of pointing out the hypocrisy. But to be fair, I suppose we all have said and had different viewpoints in our life that have changed. So I don't know. There's better things I can criticize Erica for than trying to dig up silly stuff she may have said in her past that tries to paint her one way or the other. Yeah, we're not going to watch any of this. This looks boring. Anytime I see Laura Loomer's name and her weird face, I just want to keep scrolling. Of course, they were trying to make a big deal here about Tucker Carlson supposedly having wine. If you look at the actual picture, that wine glass appeared to be sitting in front of Marjorie Taylor Greene, but it just shows you the links they're willing to go through to try to paint Tucker a certain type of way. Dan Bazilarian, RT. Oh, this is a good one. Let's watch this because I actually watched this as I was scrolling earlier. It was on my timeline, not from RT. So before everyone just says, "Oh, it's Russian propaganda," no, this video is everywhere. And this is the ignorance. This is anyone who is going to look at me or look at others and claim that we're anti-Semitic, we're racist, we're this or that. Let's listen to this because this is an interesting video, and this is the kind of people that. Like I said, I'm never going to generalize. I'm never going to say all people of any ethnic or racial or any country. I'm not going to say that. Even politicians, I'm not going to say all politicians are bad people. I just think that many, if not most, politicians are bad people. But this really is one of those things where there's a lot of people out there from that country or people who support that country or people in that religion. Once again, let's not generalize. Let's not paint everyone as bad because it's just not true. But this is the kind of crap right here that you have to scratch your head and say, how are you going to label anyone racist or anti-Semitic when you walk around talking about you're the chosen people, God chose us, and I don't buy into any of that. So let's play this.
I think now, after they kill one Israeli people, we need to kill all the people.
Let's try this
In
again.
Tel and Sarah, even Jit and Farata. Why?
Sorry, I'm
I
going to put
think
the captions on.
now, after they kill one Israeli people, we need to kill all the people in Tel and Sarah, even Jit and Farata. Why? Because we don't want it to happen again.
It sounds like you're saying one Jewish life is worth hundreds or thousands of Palestinian lives.
Not million. One Jewish life, it's 10 million, okay?
That just sounds racist.
Yes, I know. I know, but this is the truth. Because God chose us. Because of this, you are jealous.
These inflammatory views, rejected by many Israelis, are crucial to understanding the growing violence in the West Bank, which many extremist Israeli settlers see as land given to them by God.
The Bible is the authorizing that this land it's belong to us. Okay?
Israel occupied it militarily.
Yes,
And under international law, that means that no civilian settlements can be built
yes,
here.
but the God not write in the Bible the international law.
So you're a lawyer,
Yeah,
and you're saying the only law that really counts for you is the Bible.
yeah, of course.
Yeah, I think we're going to end this is the first episode of scrolling through X, scrolling through Twitter, whatever I decide to name it. But we will end on this video that was on X today. This guy literally said that, she said, that sounds racist. He said, yes, I know, but God said. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man. And what's sad is you have a lot of these evangelical Christians in the U.S. that absolutely believe that the Bible says that we should support Israel. The current modern day government of Israel that was created in 1948, they conflate the meaning of those verses. So these Christian Zionists, it's funny. It's like, let's trade out the word Palestinian with the word American. You know, one Israeli life, one Jewish life is worth 10 million Americans, not thousands. He said 10 million. Of course, he was talking about Palestinians, but you know, he thinks that about, if he thinks that about Palestinians, he thinks that about anyone else outside of a Jewish person. So it's funny to me, whether it is citizens of Israel, the government of Israel, politicians of Israel, Christian Zionists on X, they will defend this type of behavior. But if you were a white American and you said, you know, one white American or just one American, it's kind of hard because, you know, you have like the race, the Jewish race, and there's like a separation because, you know, we have plenty of Jewish people living all over the world, including the U.S., and many of them don't support Bibi Netanyahu. They don't support Israel. They don't support what's going on in Gaza, the West Bank, or Iran. But if you were to take that saying that he said, and you said one American life is worth 10 million Jewish lives, 10 million Israelis, 10 million Africans, 10 million Europeans, 10 million Brazilians, 10 million Mexicans. If you apply that in any other way, we would be labeled as racist. And what? Because I can't point and say some random Bible verse that I want to conflate and construe to support me. We've seen hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of people throughout the history of our country, or really the history of the world, rely on the Bible or religion as a way to push actual racism. That's not like a new thing. But man, I just don't think that a lot of people who support certain things really realize what these people think about you. If you're a Christian in America and you buy into the Israel hype, do you really understand what they think about you? They would literally wipe out 10 million Palestinians or 10 million Americans, whoever their enemy is at that time. To them, it takes 10 million of your deaths to replace the one Jewish or Israeli person that died. So I don't know. We're going to wrap this up, but I am going to keep coming back on a semi-normal basis, and we will scroll through Twitter, and I will give my commentary on it because I'm a X or Twitter addict, and I spend a lot of time on there talking a lot of crap to a lot of crazy people, especially people who say a bunch of crazy stuff that they would never say out in the real world in a room with the person they're talking about, because they feel protected by that screen. They feel protected behind that video. They feel protected if they're up on a stage somewhere and they know security, but they don't act like that in real life. They can only act like that on YouTube and Twitter. So have a good Sunday, guys. Enjoy your week, and we will be back soon. Make sure you follow me at Still Alive Pod on both X and YouTube. And remember, Still Alive, subscribe.